Hi guys, welcome to this video. It's your boy Kunle Hologon. So it's good to be back after about a week of not presenting our usual weekly update to you guys. This was as a result of the chaos, the protests that went across Nigeria, or Africa to be precise. As we all know, the hashtag #EndSARS. But before we get into that, let's start with another news on COVID. So talk about COVID, starting from the United States. As we all know, the United States are currently experiencing the highest number of COVID cases across the globe. According to Johns Hopkins University, the US are currently experiencing high COVID cases, the highest number of total cases across the world in any country. This is around 9,126,578 cases of COVID in the United States. And we understand that there is over 230,000 deaths across the United States.
On the alarm.
This disease is unrelenting. It doesn't care about what the location is.
According to an internal HHS memo obtained by ABC News, 48 states, all except Nebraska and Delaware, are seeing cases rise and deaths are climbing in 29 states.
This is an incredibly dangerous virus.
Kathy James says she and her son-in-law Doug were ridiculed for wearing masks in South Dakota. After Doug got sick and lost his fight with the virus, she had to break the news to his wife, her daughter Katrina.
To tell her that he wasn't going to make it. It's just not something that you want to have to tell anyone ever.
New York will now require out-of-state travelers to get a negative test before they visit, as this weekend NYC officials broke up this illegal Halloween party packed with nearly 400 people. In El Paso, FEMA setting up a field hospital to treat the deluge of patients in the same tents previously used to house separated migrant children at the border.
Whenever FEMA comes into any community, it's not a good thing. It means that the resources have been strained to the breaking point.
The virus still taking an unimaginable toll. Kentucky Sergeant Michael Keene, a veteran with no pre-existing conditions, died from COVID just days after his son was born premature, the baby now in critical condition. Mother and wife Nicole left picking up the pieces.
He was my world, he was my everything. Our entire life has changed in just a matter of a couple of weeks, and nothing for us will ever be the same.
As we all know, the presidential election is coming up in the United States. It's just this coming Tuesday. And we know that the former Vice President Joe Biden is facing off with the current president in Donald Trump. According to reports, this is one of the most important elections in the history of the United States. The Americans go to poll and they decide who will run the country for the next 4 years. One of those key items that is dominating the headlines is around the COVID cases. How Donald Trump has addressed the COVID cases in the state, and how America has emerged as being the most infected country in the world. As we all know, there's so much at stake in this presidential election.
You don't have to look far.
Not going to allow the cancer from Portland to spread out everywhere else.
To find the deepening political divide running through Washington state. Tensions hit a boiling point Friday at dueling demonstrations.
Trump finally stands up and says America is a great country.
But not everybody sees it that way, especially in Portland, Oregon. This deeply democratic city caught in the crosshairs of political posturing and unrest at the height of the racial justice movement.
What is going on?
Which saw federal agents and tear gas targeting protesters and activists like Ty Carpenter.
Tensions are rising, so I think with the election just days away, who knows what's going to happen.
I just want to implore all Americans to go all out to cast their votes and let their voices be heard. Also, they need to continue to keep safe at this time as they cast their vote, because the COVID is still not gone away. It is still very much around, and they really need to look after themselves in the United States of America. We wish them the very best at this period of time. Still on COVID, talk about Europe. Europe is also currently experiencing high cases of COVID as well. As we all know, a number of countries are going for second national lockdown. Countries like France, Germany, Belgium, and even the United Kingdom Prime Minister has just announced that from Thursday, the 5th of November, there is going to be a national lockdown of 1 month in the country that will be coming to an end on the 2nd of December.
now suggests that unless we act, we could see deaths in this country running at several thousand a day, a peak of mortality, alas, bigger than the one we saw in April. And so now is the time to take action because there is no alternative. And from Thursday until the start of December, you must stay at home. You may only leave home for specific reasons, including for education, for work, let's say if you cannot work from home, for exercise and recreation outdoors with your household or on your own with one person from another household, for medical reasons, appointments, and to escape injury or harm, to shop for food and essentials, and to provide care for vulnerable people or as a volunteer. I'm afraid non-essential shops, leisure and entertainment venues will all be closed, though click and collect services can continue and essential shops will remain open, so there's no need to stock up. Pubs, bars, restaurants must close except for takeaway and delivery services. Workplaces should stay open where people can't work from home, for example, in the construction and manufacturing sectors.
This is a critical moment in Europe and in the United Kingdom, to be precise. So we need to still take extra care. I think from my own perspective, I think it's a bit relaxed. The Prime Minister has tried not to use the word national lockdown when he was giving this announcement. But the report across various sources, BBC, Sky News, has all said it's second national lockdown. But for me, I think there's a massive difference compared to the first one that was held sometime this year in 2020. As we all know, during the initial lockdown, the first one in UK, there was no movement whatsoever. Only the essential activities were allowed to open. The only difference with this second wave of the lockdown is that we will be having pubs, restaurants, bars, and leisure centers now closed. But all other activities are still open. For instance, the schools are still open as well. The Premier League football will still continue, according to the report. There are a number of activities that will still open, but we just need to make sure that we observe the social distance across all of these places that we go to across England and Wales, and also make sure that we observe all the necessary rules of COVID at this COVID period. We hope that as the government has decided to put in place this new lockdown, the number of COVID cases will subside in the country. So now moving on to Nigeria. So the last 3 weeks has been an historic moment in the history of Nigeria. As we all know, the hashtag #EndSARS was used about 70 million times across all digital platforms on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all sort of platforms across the globe by various celebrities across the world, including the current presidential aspirant and the former Vice President of America, Joe Biden, hashtagging this, and also Hillary Clinton as well. So the hashtag #EndSARS, as we all know, was a protest that came across Nigeria. It rivaled entire Nigeria in the last 3 weeks, and it has been trending across the entire world. And in the process of protest, a number of discoveries were made, including palliatives as well. So according to the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Nigeria has lost around 700 billion naira to this hashtag #EndSARS protest in the last 3 weeks. But having said all that, Kennedy Channel has been able to attend one of the protests in London. All inside well, Mr. President. Nigerians are saying here at the Nigeria High Commission in London, lead us well.
Stop the killing.
Stop the killing. Stop the killing. You've just been told.
Stop the killing.
Nigerians are saying.
Enough.
Govern us well.
The future of tomorrow.
Senator well. Police well. No, they take bribe. Govern us well. Senator well. Police well. No, they take bribe. Rich man wait with money.
Crime fighter.
Oh my goodness. Make gonna lead us well. Don't let this nation to fall inside well. Mr. President, lead us well. Govern us well. Senate and well. Police well, no they take bribe. No let this nation to fall inside well. Mr. President, lead us well. Govern us well. Senate well. Police well, no they take bribe.
Lead us well.
Govern us well.
If you be senator
well.
if you be police.
Police well, no they take bribe. As we all know, the protest is still going on across the world today, and a number of countries like in Europe, in America, in other part of the world, Canada, they are still protesting, the Nigerians over there. So Kennedy Channel was able to attend one of those protests in London at Trafalgar Square, Nigeria High Commission here in London. And also, it is really important to let you know that we have made a special video for that event. This video was in 3 segments. I will put the link below this video today. So Kennedy Channel has been able to assess what happened, how it all started. How did we get to where we are today in Nigeria? How did #EndSARS even began? Kennedy Channel has attempted to, diagnose and review all of this, and we have done a video on this. I will suggest that you all look at, just take time to go through it, because it explains a lot about what has happened, how we got to where we are, and where we are going from here. One of those key things that we examined in that is how we got to the current situation, including the discovery of the palliatives. And also, we had a number of questions for the Nigerian government, and also we had a number of questions for the Nigerian youth. And also, we tried to debunk a number of fake news that has been trending in Nigeria for many weeks now. Fake news like Buhari is dead. He has been dead since 2017, Nigeria president. The person in Aso Rock is not actually Buhari. One of those is also something like Yoruba Ronu, that is Yoruba think. That's one ethnic group in Nigeria, one of the most common ethnic groups in Nigeria, Yorubas, that they should think twice before they engage in the protest. And a lot of videos went viral that it was only the Hausas and the Igbos, other ethnic groups, that were destroying things and properties in Lagos, and they were destroying properties that belongs to Yorubas, and that this is ethnic crisis or ethnic clashes, and we should be aware of that. But actually, we debunked that. It's not correct, and I would suggest you just go through the video at your own time so that you understand all of this. And also, we talked about how important social media is at this period of time. It is extremely important that we all take cognizance of the importance of social media at this time. When you receive a news or a video or a message, don't just forward it to anyone. Think twice about it. Take a time to go through it, review what he's talking about, and don't just forward it on and say, yes, we have concluded, without you even looking at what was in the video or who shot the video and what it is about. Some of the videos might be videos that was, shot years ago, and during these violent clashes between the soldiers and the protesters, we see that some of those videos surfaced again, and people were attributing those videos to the protest. And in some cases, that is not the case. So we need to be very, very careful in disseminating information. As a good example, how can we as a K90 channel team come to your audience, come to your views, or come to you presenting our weekly update as we are doing now, and we don't filter through those messages, or we don't verify those information before we bring it to our viewers or our audience? This will make us to lose our credibility, and we don't want to do that. So whatever video you receive as an individual or as an organization, I will implore you to Please verify the detail of it. Go through it, investigate, research, search. Be more inquisitive to learn more about the video before you start circulating it to other people and say, yes, they are bad people. That's how they are. They are crazy. Oh, the country is in flames. Oh, they killed 100 million people. You need to verify information before you share it with people. Hopefully, the protest has brought a change to Nigeria. We want in that video that all our political leaders now in Nigeria will need to start thinking twice before they make decisions, before they loot the treasury, that Nigerian youths are watching them, the world is watching them, and you cannot be voted in where you are supposed to be serving the people, and you turn against them, you loot their treasury, and you live a luxury life. We have heard several times that Nigeria has got so many potential that they finally realize these potentials. We can't keep talking about potentials. We need to make these potentials to become realities. So this is the time that Nigerian leaders, Nigerian government need to now put in place this so that Nigeria will experience plenty at this time and in future again, and we can be competitive at the global level. Long live Nigeria, and we wish Nigerians the very best at this period. Once again, we pass our condolence to all the people that lost loved ones across Nigeria during the protest. May their souls rest in peace. Moving on to Ivory Coast. There was a presidential election that was held in Cote d'Ivoire just last Saturday, the 31st of October. Just a bit of background for you. Since August, that the current president, Ouattara, announced that he will be vying for the position of president in the country, about 14 people have been killed in so many clashes across the country in Cote d'Ivoire. The former prime minister, Coulibaly, that was nominated by the current president, Ouattara, to become the presidential candidate for the current ruling party. He suddenly died of heart attack in July. And after that death, August, the current president, who has already run for 2 terms, according to the constitution, that should not be allowed to run for the 3rd term, has now came up and said he will be running for the 3rd term again. And since then, clashes has broke out in the country. The opposition party has said that they will boycott the election that was held on the 31st of October. But again, the election still went ahead, and we're just awaiting the outcome of that election at the moment. The opposition party has said it is illegal for Ouattara to stand for 3rd term, and it is against the constitution of the country. We strongly feel this should not be the case as well. If you are to serve for 2 terms, whatever thing you are not able to complete in 2 terms, then hand it over to another incoming president who can continue on your legacy. Hopefully, whoever person that emerges as the president will be able to unite the country again. Moving on to Tanzania. There was an election in Tanzania as well. Just last Wednesday, the presidential election was held in Tanzania, and the current president, Magufuli, has been re-elected into the office. This was another election that a number of people protested and said this election should not be allowed to hold.
According to the National Electoral Commission, Magufuli won the election by 12.5 million votes out of the 15 million votes that were cast, while his main challenger, Tundu Lissu, garnered 1.9 million votes. Despite Lissu previously saying that he will not accept the election results, Magufuli has already been declared the president-elect. Amnesty International called attention to what it termed a post-election crackdown and intimidation with arrest and release of opposition politicians. Tanzania's opposition leaders are demanding fresh elections and have called for protests, saying the election was marred by irregularities. The
international community has spoken out and said they do not think this election was free and fair. This is what is attributed to African leaders. The moment they assume office, take up power, they struggle to release it. They want to die in the office.
Half of our people here are below 20 years old. Yes? Look at the average age of our presidents. It's about 63, 64 years old. We're the only continent in the world where we have presidents at 90 years old starting new terms. I mean, you guys are crazy or what? We've seen people in wheelchairs, you know, unable to raise hands to standing for elections. This is a joke. Yes, you are right to laugh, because the whole world is laughing at us. You know, I always say, I mean, you look around you. You look, United States, an economy of $16 trillion. We, all of Africa, are less than $1 trillion. This is a $16 trillion economy, right? The most important country in the world, like it or not. Obama, which happened to be half African anyway, become president when he's 46, 47 years old. He's president. If Obama was in Kenya, what he will be doing now? He will be driving a bus, maybe. Yeah? You look, really, and he's not the youngest president. Clinton was younger than him. Clinton became president at 46 years old. Kennedy was 40 years old, 40 something years old when he became president. Why these big countries, much bigger than us, entrust their economies, their nuclear weapons, their oil resources to people who are in their 40s? And we only pick up people at 90 years old to lead us. To lead us where? To the grave?
So as we can see in this video, who are you going to be leading if you are 90 and 95? Are you leading everyone to the grave in the country? This is what we need to think about in Africa. We hope that the African leaders will think and they will understand that things has changed and they cannot afford to be left behind. You need to think of how you relinquish power, leave the office and groom leaders and help the country to grow in future. Hopefully, African leaders will continue to see this and they will see how they can improve the countries across the entire continent so that they can be competitive across the globe. Moving on to our weekly money transfer update. As we can see on this table, we can see that transfer is still currently topping our table on here. We can see that their rate to Nigeria is currently 575 naira to a pound. As we can see, they are not currently in Europe or in America. We had a chat with transfer during the week. I spoke to one of their team members and we let them know that they're on top of our list every week for the money transfer best rate to Nigeria from UK in terms of pounds. So we advised them that they need to think of how to make it a lot more easier for their customers to use their apps and also at the same time not compromise security as well. So they said they are working through this. They want to make sure that when you log on using your card, you're able to be reminded of that card that you used previously so that you will not need to re-enter everything again. And also they are looking to revamp their app so that they will be able to make sure it is more secured as well. And they are looking to expand to Europe as well. They want to start, they are working through how they can start dealing with in euros so that customers across Europe can start using transfer, and also in America as well in terms of US dollars. So as we can see next on our table here is Azimo. Azimo is currently 567 naira to a pound on our table. Azimo is currently in euro as well. As we can see, their euro is 505 naira to 1 euro, but Azimo is not currently in the United States of America. So as we can see, the third on our list for this week is Rewire, and also we see all the way to the 9th and 10th on our list. Number 10 on our list for today is MoneyGram. MoneyGram is currently 489 naira to a pound. Their euro is 442 naira to 1 euro. Their dollar is 382 naira to $1. We bring this money transfer update to our viewers every week so that they can make a decision on which of these money transfer companies has the best rate every week, so that when they are transferring money to their loved ones, they can get the best rate. Hopefully this video has helped someone for this week. Please feel free to share it with your loved ones. Moving on. So in terms of Kunle Ologun Foundation, as we all know, we are planning to host a football competition at Mautu in Lagos, Nigeria. So due to the situation of unrest in the country in the last 3 weeks, we have been contacting the organizers, speaking to them because we do not want to put anyone's health and safety at risk. We have spoken to the organizers, we have assessed the situation, and the situation seems to be calm at the moment. The football competition will still be going ahead. As promised, it should be in 2 weeks' time, the 14th of November. That will be the kickoff, and it will run all the way to 6th of December. As we all know, the teams are currently preparing. But what we have decided not to do is to make sure that we don't put anyone's health and safety at risk. And also, not just in terms of the protest, which is now calm, but also in terms of COVID as well. But we understand this has subsided in the country. So this football competition will still be progressing, and we look forward to it in the next few weeks. Moving on to our inspirational quote for this week. The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thought. Think positive, even if everything around you suggests otherwise. Be positive in your thought. We wish you the very best. If you have not subscribed to K90 channel on YouTube, please kindly do so. Also, please don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you so much for watching this episode, and it's good to be back as well. And bye for now.